When you contrast that with yesterday, which was 24 kilometers an hour, it's substantially lower. Let's take a look then at today's course. The riders taking in the sights of the Botanic Garden, the University of Wollongong. We go up Mount Ousley, then we go descending back down to the coastline, past Flagstaff Point Lighthouse and finishing on Marine Drive. Wow, that was a lot bigger than I ever anticipated. Let's just get our first rider off the start ramp. This is Hannah Kunz from Germany, third in the National Time Trial Championships, a 17-year-old rider, and she gets underway. Lucy Stewart underway. I think you saw her riding around the course a couple of days ago.
Yeah, who are actually the favourites. So towards the end of this race, we're going to see a real fight for the gold medal.
This is Lucia Garcia underway for Spain. Gets out on the course.
Here, so I would say a total of 2 or 3 hours they've had to study all of these corners. However, the coaches in the car behind them will be able to communicate to them when they need to come out of that aero position and when they need to give a little bit more. As we now see Hannah Kunz, the first time up this climb of Mount Ousley, they'll only have to get over that once today, so they will attack it very hard.
Really rode that pretty strongly by the looks of things, this German rider. 17 years of age, as she clicks her way through the gears. We'll see if she gets back into that aero tuck nice and quickly. She's going to give us that first moment where we are able to find out who is the fastest rider through this intermediate time split. 10 minutes 46.33 is the intermediate split for Hannah Kunz. Lucy Stewart making her way up here to the top of this particular climb. Going to be 21 seconds down, 38 kilometers an hour for the young Australian. She's definitely being identified as a rider we should watch out for. Our first rider approaches the finish and sets the standard. Hannah Kunz finishes in 20 minutes 32.96. Average speed 41.2 kilometers an hour. We're seeing speeds here that are a little bit lower than we've seen previously, but they're on restricted gears as Jet Simon makes her way to the top of the climb, and despite seeing that really aero position, hasn't capitalized on it with the time here at that first split.
Well, that's what we can, with the restricted gears, that we can see she's got a beautiful aerodynamic.
The arrival of Lucy Stewart of Australia at the finish line. She's going to be outside the time of the current leader, Hannah Kunz, who finished in a time of 20 minutes 32.96. At the intermediate split, she was 21.26 seconds down on the fastest time of Hannah Kunz. She's going to be pretty close to that at the finish line. She won't have lost too much time on the run-in. Lucy Stewart of Australia heading now to the completion of her time trial. Hannah Kunz will stay in the hot seat. She finishes with a time of 21.09.11. Here's the arrival of Izzy Sharp. The time to beat 10:46.33, and the British rider looks to be riding a very good climb so far. Can she get herself inside that time of Hannah Kunz? It's going to be a little bit close. Almost there now, just going to go red. There's Hannah Kunz there in the hot seat. Izzy Sharp is in the ballpark, second fastest time, 3.29 seconds down. She's a respectable climb so far. Jet Simon is almost at the finish line for Germany. The leader at the moment is her compatriot Hannah Kunz. Jet Simon chasing the time of Izzy Sharp for second place, and Jet Simon goes through. Here is Anna van der Meijden riding a mammoth gear up this climb.
Yeah, it looks like she is overgeared. She looks so good in that aero position, but it'll be interesting to see. 10:46 the time. Oh, I think she's going to match it.
Looks like she is.
Quick she can get to that time check.
Here she goes, a mammoth gear engaged as she now goes over to the left-hand side of the road. Hannah Kunz's time, 10:46.33, and Anna van der Meijden, 15.9 seconds quicker at the intermediate split. For the arrival now of the British rider, Izzy Sharp, chasing the time of Hannah Kunz. 20 minutes 32.96 is the time to beat. The British rider looking to eclipse that time. How far has she got to go? It looks like it's going to be very, very tight at the conclusion of this time trial. Izzy Sharp trying to give it a little bit more. Hannah Kunz is top of the leaderboard, and the new leader is Great Britain's Izzy Sharp. 1 minute 31.31 seconds down, 20 minutes 31.65. And here is Anna van der Meijden. She's got a long way to go to the line. This rider has produced a pretty sparkling performance today as she goes, without doubt, the shortest way to the finish line. The Dutch rider chasing the time of Izzy Sharp, 20 minutes 31.65. She rode a huge gear to the top of the climb. Is she now going to put herself in the hot seat with a significant advantage on the rest of the riders? Anna van der Meijden of the Netherlands finishes now and smashes the time of Izzy Sharp, finds 14.7 seconds. This is Elizabeth Ebras. This could be a good time here. She went through that split, as Rochelle identified, 12.33 seconds down. She is absolutely cruising her way into the finish line. Can she beat the time of Anna van der Meijden? We've been asking ourselves, how can anyone find any more seconds on these restricted gears? But this rider may well have found a little bit more speed. Is it going to be there? Is she just going to run out of road? Elizabeth Ebras hits the line now. Whoa, 0.73 down. Van der Meijden just stays top of the leaderboard.
It is a very fast time from the rider from Netherlands, and as you said, she's already been signed pro, so she's been spotted as a very, very strong rider. It will take a good ride, and as you said, they're on restricted gears, so there's limited ways that they can gain back that time.
Second fastest time for Nienke Vinke of the Netherlands. As we go back to the start of Phoebe Joris, third in the European Championship time trial, rides for Belgium. Starting as though she's in a team pursuit. Counting down the start, getting herself ready. As we see the arrival then of Isabel Kantz of Australia, riding a really high cadence, looks superb over the top of that climb. Third fastest, 10.78, in the ballpark, Rochelle, in with a chance. Well, penultimate rider to go, Justina Chapler of Germany, European champion of the time trial. About to get going here in Wollongong. Is this a date with the rainbow bands, or is the favourite going to do what everyone expects her to do?
Yeah, being the European champion in the individual time trial will certainly give you confidence coming into the World Championship. Very, very highly contested event, the European Championship. But it's all about the rainbow bands today. For these last few riders, we have one more, the favourite, to go off the starting ramp.
Here is the race favourite, silver medalist last year, defending champion of the road race. Zoe Backstead has signed for EF Education, Tibco, Silicon Valley Bank. She's the hottest prospect in women's cycling as far as the pro teams are concerned. She's a fantastic cyclocross rider, can ride the road, can ride a time trial. Can she now bring home the rainbow bands? She gets underway immediately, sprinting off the start. This is the rider we've been waiting to see. Has she translated the time at that intermediate split? She was 5.41 seconds down on her teammate, Anna van der Meijden. Is this going to be the fastest time? Nienke Vinke of the Netherlands, look at her teammate, watching her. She looks like she's found a fair amount of speed on the run into Marine Drive here in Wollongong. And Anna van der Meijden can't believe what she's seeing. It's going to be really, really tight on the line. Wow, 1.42 seconds between the two of them. Belle Carnes now of Australia, making her way into the finish and may well be using local knowledge to very, very good effect. Isabel Carnes of Australia chasing the time of Anna van der Meijden, 20 minutes 16.92. Heading up towards the conclusion of this time trial. Isabella Carnes, can she get the fastest time? It's going to run out. It's so tight even for a medal. Isabel Carnes concludes 4th fastest for Australia.
But it's so tight at the top. Every single inch of the road counts.
She took back 6 seconds off the top of the climb to the finish using knowledge to great effect. Phoebe Joris not having a great time trial so far. I think one of the soigneurs with the most experience in the world at looking after riders at a finish line. This rider, though, Eliska Kaznikova, has set a great time out at the intermediate split and looks like she could also be translating that to a good time at the finish. 3rd fastest at the intermediate split for the Czech Republic. Eliska Kaznikova, can she go top of the leaderboard? Time to beat 2016.92, sprinting for all she has won to get a medal.
Yes.
Top of the leaderboard by 0.83.
Such a big difference between coming home with a gold medal or finishing 4th at the World Championships. Nobody looks at 4th place, and you can go from 1st to 4th by just a fraction of a second. So it's just phenomenal how close these times are.
The top 3 are separated at the moment by 1.56 seconds. This is such an incredible race. She's finished. The arrival of the German rider to the intermediate time split, Justina Chapler. This is the penultimate rider, and this looks like it could be a very, very good time at the intermediate split. She really is putting the power in through those pedals. What's the time going to be? Is she going to be top of the leaderboard? 2.07 ahead.
Yeah, it's a good ride because you can see that she's still very, very composed, putting all the power through the pedals. She's the fastest through that intermediate split. And now Zoe Backstead giving everything she's got to try and get to that first time check with the fastest time.
Zoe Backstead, look at the speed as she rides with a tremendous cadence to the top of this climb, Rochelle. This is impressive. She's in a massive gear and just spinning it over.
Yeah, she's staying in the big ring. She's just dropped it down one so she can get out of the seat. A bit harder gear so she can push and just keep up really high speed over the top here. She's got to get through that time check in 10 minutes and 28 seconds, and it looks like she's absolutely going to smash that. She is on fire.
Wow, Zoe Backstead, look at this time. 10 minutes 28.36 of Justina Kapler, and Zoe Backstead is not just going to match the time, she's going to rocket it into another universe. 50.3 seconds faster than any other rider. This is why this rider is the most valuable rider in junior women's cycling right now. She is a phenomenon. Phoebe Joris of Belgium searching for a medal. To get in the medals at the moment, you need to beat the time of Elizabeth Ebras of Estonia. Phoebe Joris looking to put herself into the medals for Belgium. Joris needs to get there in a time of around about 20 minutes, 17 seconds. Is it going to be a medal for Belgium? Phoebe Joris is reaching the conclusion, and she goes top of the leaderboard. Phoebe Joris, 20 minutes 15.76. It didn't look like she was going to get there, but she goes top now. 1 kilometre to go beckons for the British rider. The time to beat at the moment is 20 minutes 15.76, and Zoe Backstead is going to hit 1,000 metres to go at 17 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yeah, it's just a phenomenal ride, and she's showing so much talent just in her style and composure, the way that she's paced herself through this race as well. We'll see a good time here from the German.
Justina Chapler of Germany chasing the time of Phoebe Joris, and she looks like she is going to put herself to the top of the leaderboard, but it's probably only going to be for less than 30 seconds, because behind her there is an express train making her way into Wollongong. Justina Chapler is about to hit the finish line, and she is going to go top of the leaderboard. She beats the time of Joris by 13 seconds, but look in the background, here comes the express train. Great Britain's Zoe Backstead. Look at the time. This is absolutely phenomenal. This may well be the best time trial you've ever seen of a woman rider. Zoe Backstead wins the world title, has got time to sit up and smashes it. 1 minute 35 seconds.
And you don't see that very often in a time trial. That's goosebumps things, isn't it? That she can sit up, look at the scoreboard and punch the air before she comes across the line. She didn't even have to pedal over the line. She'd taken the pressure off. What an absolutely sensational ride from the youngster from Great Britain.
You've just witnessed something absolutely exceptional. Zoe Backstead smashes the rest of the field.
Struggling to balance. I'm struggling to balance, she says, at the finish there. The legs are a bit wobbly, full of lactic acid. Could just stabilise me. I'd like to get off this bike.
Wow. Zoe Backstead wins the world title, 1 minute 35 ahead of Justina Chapler of Germany and Phoebe Joris of Belgium. It was a ride in history, with an advantage of 1 minute 35 seconds over the rest of the fields. Zoe Backstead pulls on the rainbow bands as the world champion. She's been the road race champion, now she's the time trial champion. Big moment for her.
Well, certainly not letting the pressure get to her, being the clear favourite. She went out with a lot of confidence. What a well-deserved victory.
Les fleurs seront remises par